Hello. Welcome to Sunday Night Reading Sprints. Just to keep you all on your toes, I decided to use up an extra day on a Sunday.
Why not?
I always do Thursdays, but I figured I'm going to try and do 2 days a week when I can going forward. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best of the day, like what works for other people and what works for me. So thank you two, for coming on. As usual, it's lovely to have you on screen, especially together. We haven't had much time to chat beforehand like we normally would because my computer decided it was going to update itself. So I hope you two have both had a good weekend and you're feeling better, Sharon, than last time I saw you. You weren't very well. Are you feeling better now?
I'm still just very tired, so it's just, so I've got to be a bit careful, but yeah, I just very tired all the time, but I'm on leave this week, so it's a bonus, isn't it?
Prime reading time.
I've been reading. That's what I've been doing for 2 days, is reading and baking cakes. And tomorrow I'm going to Home Sense and TK Maxx to look at the Halloween-y stuff.
Oh yeah, I already did mine online. I was like, as soon as it was like people started talking about Halloween stuff, I was like, click, 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 let's go.
I just like to have a mooch, and tomorrow my husband's off. And so Tuesday I'm having my hair done because I'm, very, very rooty because I had to cancel when I was ill. And so I'm looking forward to having a mooch.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Home Sense on Wednesday because I haven't got a local one. I'm going to visit my friend in Nottingham on Wednesday, so she's going to take me to a local Home Sense because I've exhausted the TK Maxx in the surrounding area, so I think I'll go further afield.
They're the same company, aren't they? They're owned by the same company.
Yeah.
Ours is in Taunton, which is about 20 miles away, so it's not too bad. But Nottingham's lovely.
Yes, my friend lives quite centrally as well, so we tend to wander in to the Waterstones and bake. And last time I made her watch The Lost Boys, which was great because she's a bit more of a scaredy cat than me, so that was fun.
The Lost Boys is not scary though.
I mean, according to her, it was a little bit, but but we enjoyed it. It was very good.
Good.
Yeah, so that's kind of the most exciting thing I'm doing this week. I'm also trying to finish writing Mina and the Cult because my editor needs it like yesterday. So
we all need it.
Like we all need it, Amy.
Yes.
I'll try and write a bit faster.
Get on with it.
How was your weekend away in Scarborough?
Really nice, thank you. We did lots of fun family things. Rented a little teeny boat, just a 20-minute one on a lake. Went on a mini train. We did lots of mini things for some reason. Hung out on the campsite that the family was staying on. Then we went to stay in a hotel.
Very sensible.
Yeah, we thought too. The motorhomes look quite nice, but tent. I just looked at the tent and thought,
tent with a child. No.
Sounds like a horror film, doesn't it? Toddler in a tent.
Life's too short to be sleeping on the dirt, love. No.
To be fair, we all end up sleeping in the same bed, so I think it's a slight step up from dirt. But I had my own bed for a good 2 hours before somebody else climbed into it. But so we are going to, some of us be reading, some of us be writing tonight. I will be frantically trying. I haven't finished writing Mina and the Cult, but I need to edit what I've written so far. I've got 20 pages left to edit, and then I need to tag an ending onto it. So tonight I'm hoping to edit what is left. That is the plan. How about you, Paula? Are you planning to read tonight?
Yes. Sorry, I'm just having issues with my lights. I am listening to The Threads That Bind by Cat. I'll butcher their surname. No.
I wish I could help, but I don't know who it is. And I'm not good at pronunciation anyway.
Kika Hatsupulo or whoa. Come on, you can do it.
I can't read it, but I'll go with it.
Lovely cover.
Yeah, what you said sounded excellent.
Yeah, so I've got that on audiobook, but my book club decided to pick The Lies of Loch Lamora. Cool. And I've already read it, but I need to kind of like reread it so I can put my thoughts down. So I'll either be listening to that audiobook and playing on my Switch, or I'll be reading some of this.
I read that a long time ago. I really liked it, actually.
I did too. I really enjoyed it. It took me a while to get into it, but it's like the series is not complete yet, and this series, this was published way back when, and I'm like, Stop taking so long to write books, people. I need them.
I do understand. I sympathise because my books aren't that long. I mean, they're semi-complex, but they're not that long. And I think some of these epic fantasies, they're like in the hundred thousands of words. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for bum on seat, write 1,000 words a day. It'd only take you 100 days, wouldn't it, to write 100,000 words? So, don't know. Not pointing any fingers, George R. R. Martin.
Or Patrick Rothfuss.
Yeah,
Still waiting.
No, me too. One of the only fantasy series I've got really into, and it's typical that it's one that's taking like decades to be completed. But
that's why I don't like fantasy.
I very rarely read it, and when I do, I can really latch onto it. Like Laini Taylor, I've mentioned her books, I absolutely love. But yeah, there aren't that many that I'm as obsessed with as I am thrillers, horror, mysteries.
Unless the whole lot's out, unless the whole series is out, or it's a standalone, I won't even pick it up. I haven't got the patience to wait, and most of the current fantasies I just don't like.
Yeah.
So I'm bored to death of dragons. So
I like fantasy. I do enjoy fantasy, and I do enjoy dragons and all that stuff. But I think I read this back in like 2016, so I really need to refresh my memory on what happens, because I've read so much since then. Books just fall out of my head. It's like there's no more room.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. I read In Nightfall last year and had to reread it for the book club because I was like, I can remember bits of it, but I can't remember it enough.
Yeah, key plot points. Don't know where they actually fall in the general story. But yeah, even back then I was like, okay, I just want to get on and binge this series. And I don't even think the third book had been written and released then in 2017 or 2016. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to put a hold on the series until they're all out. But book club decided they wanted to read this, so can you do?
It's so frustrating for people. I mean, I've got so many of my friends, my bookish friends, love a lot of fantasy. Do you know, they love it, and they go insane literally, because they always end them on a cliffhanger, and then you've got at least 18 months till the next one. It's a long time to expect a reader to wait, isn't it? I think sometimes I'm so frustrated for them.
Yeah, she says,
thank you.
I'm just not somebody who's leaving 18 months between her books. I can't write any faster.
I know, but you could read your books as separate books.
Yeah.
The characters are the same, but the stories are different. So you could actually read them as separate books and just see it as an overarching trilogy. But it's not the same story all the way through. I think that's, so you're not so much of a torment, Amy.
Okay, that's good to know. So how about you, Sharon? We take it you're not reading fantasy. What are you going to be reading?
Well, I'm it's a surprise, isn't it? I am going to be reading
really happy and fluffy.
Slasher Tag.
Oh, so not a happy fluffy romance.
This is on Kindle Unlimited, and it's about a reality TV program that's set in a haunted hotel that used to be home to a serial killer, and 7 celebrities go in, and they're watched by 200 cameras, and it turns out that the ghost of the serial killer, is still a bit bloodthirsty.
Oh.
So it looks really good. It's kind of like a slasher reality thriller.
It's on Kindle Unlimited,
horror.
You say?
It's on Kindle Unlimited, and it's a big one as well. It's like nearly 400 pages, which is big for a horror.
Yeah.
And but it's really good. It's really good.
What's it called?
Like Slasher Tag. Yeah, it's by a guy called John Cohen.
I thought it said coffin when you held it up. I was like, somebody coughing.
But it's it looks really good. So it's so it's kind of like a haunted hotel serial killer slasher.
That sounds excellent. I think I'm going to add that to the list. I keep thinking about Kindle Unlimited, but it all seems to romance when people talk about it.
Oh no, I tell you, if you like horror, I mean, I know some horror I wouldn't recommend to you, but Kindle Unlimited is absolutely full of indie horror.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely full of it. I got a free trial when I bought my new Kindle. I got a 3-month free trial, which ends in September, and I've had it for 6 weeks, I've already read 13 books.
All right, I might have to
So-
try to see if they'll do me a trial just to see whether I use it or not.
See,
do
I
the
just,
three
I just
three
pay
months.
for it because I just, eat books.
I will definitely be paying for it when my free trial's over. It's about was it 12 quid, isn't it? Is it 11.99 or 9.99 or something? It's worth every penny for me.
Yeah.
Because I'll read mainly on my Kindle. Kindle is my primary reading.
See, even this is like it put in like slasher tag, but Kindle Unlimited, Camp Slasher Lake Volume 1, Camp Slasher, a gory dark horror novel. That's on Kindle Unlimited as well. So it's like
Masses of them.
Loads of stuff on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, so I'll read a lot of indie horror, and so rather than the author sending me a copy, which costs them money, most of them are on Kindle Unlimited, so they give me permission to download them early.
That's
so
cool.
It just saves them money, and I can review it for them.
Clever.
Brilliant.
I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that definitely. I just kind of assumed it's romance because when you see people on TikTok recommending them, it's always romance titles that there's all fantasy, and I'm like, not.
There's a lot of romance as well. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fantasy on there, but I only use it for indie horror, and I've already got. I think I must have downloaded at least 40. They're all indie horror.
Excellent.
I'm just working my way through them.
Yeah, top tip of the night. I'm going to remember that one, and I'm going to remember about Slasher Tag too. Let's see what people in the comments are doing. Hi. Excellent. That sounds good. I need to finish the Inheritance games. I got to the last book and really, really enjoyed the first two, but
I haven't even read them. I haven't even made a start.
I think you'd really like them, actually. They're really good mysteries. Anybody who doesn't know, a girl will inherit billions, but she's got to spend a year in the home of the people who thought they were going to inherit the money. So she's awkwardly living with the family of this eccentric billionaire who passed away, and his house is basically a great big escape room puzzle maze. He has sort of left puzzles for everything. So everybody's trying to solve these puzzles and be the first one to do it, and she's got to kind of stay with the family. It's really good. It's like family drama meets mystery. Yeah, I do need to finish the series.
Hi, Mills. Hi, Kirsty.
Oh, sorry, Kirsty. I've heard that is brilliant. I did an event with Dave Fenn, and he was like the loveliest person. So I really do need to pick that up. Yes, come read with us, Serena. We will keep each other on track. I need to really concentrate tonight. Oh, holiday. That sounds lovely. I'm jealous that you headed into Hay. I've never been, but it's the book town, isn't it? It sounds amazing.
Is that where there's more bookshops than people?
I think so, something like that. Like every other shop's a bookshop. It sounds awesome.
I was so frustrated when I lived in Cardiff. I lived in Cardiff for like 2.5 to 3 years, and I was just like, I didn't know that Hay on Wye existed at this point. And I was just like, when we moved back to Leeds, found out about Hay on Wye, and I'm like, excuse me, why didn't we go there at any point?
Yes, I do need to read those. I've got Gideon. Is it called Gideon the Ninth?
Yes.
Yeah, the Lock Tomb series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've read the first one. I got confused, but I listened to it on audio, and I've been told that you're kind of supposed to be confused. So I think I need to reread it, but physically instead of listening to it.
It's supposed to be really, really confusing, and you don't get like any kind of resolution to it until the end of the trilogy.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't know about that. That's a lot of commitment for me. That sounds interesting, Amelia. Tell us more. Yeah, this is me, Sabrina. I'm starting to now. They keep arriving in the post. I requested a few from publishers, and then when sometimes they take a while and you forget, and then they arrive, and you're like, oh, they've all come
all together.
Yeah. So I put everything down today because Cynthia Murphy's Barrington Stoke book came, Welcome to Kent Killer, and I'd started reading that. That
looks so good, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I saw Cynthia's post, and I thought I'm gonna have to get that because my nephew loved Alex's books. I think he would really love that. So I thought I'm going to get a copy of that and then read it and then send it on to my nephew. This a 12 plus, isn't it?
Yeah, so, 12 plus. It's only 120 pages, so it's a really, really quick read. And it's the dyslexia friendly press as well. It's like the font's really nice and the paper's really nice and kind of eye friendly. Yeah, it seems like that's going to be really good. Hi, Raymond. Excellent. I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
Yay! Are you getting ready for the new release in January? The third one.
I haven't read any of them, so I'm sure Raymond's probably preparing for that. Paula, I feel like we've mentioned this before. You have read that one, haven't you?
I have. For me personally, it's not worth the hype. I mean, it's okay, but it's not as amazing as everyone makes it out to be. Even when it gets spicy, it's very mediocre spicy.
Yeah, it's not our kind of thing. I don't think me and you, Sharon. A few people.
I read everything, so
yeah. More people have said to me not to bother. That it's very fantasy. At $9.49 a month for Kindle Unlimited for those who are interested. Over 20 bookshops. Ooh, Murder and Mayhem. Take pictures, please. Han, that sounds cool.
I feel like that's too many bookshops, isn't it? I mean, I would bankrupt myself.
I'd have to visit everyone. You'd need a good few days there, I think.
I think you need like a day to go through every bookshop, and then the next day seeing a masseuse or a chiropractor, just let you know, so you can chill out the next day.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. Yeah, I think that's probably fairly common from what I've heard. Like the confusing thing if you can't get into it. Yes, I got refused on NetGalley, and then
I might get off NetGalley.
The publisher emailed me and said, "Would I like a physical copy?" And I was like, "Okay." So I'll read.
Yes, please.
Yes, preparation for the new book. Thanks, Han. I hope you enjoy it. I got my author. Did I say that I got my author copies? I've got 6 copies of it now, so it feels.
I'm extraordinarily excited about it. It's on my September TBR. I haven't even got it yet, but it's going to be in there when it arrives.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to it. It's a beautiful cover.
It is, and I think it's just, I like the fact that all the authors just kind of did what they wanted to do and lent into their vibe. So it's very much, each story is very them, and hopefully there'll be something kind of for everybody. And mine's just really weird and quirky and neat, so hopefully people like that.
Just like the dark and twisty stuff.
I think it's weirder than Mina, actually, so I hope people enjoy that. Yeah, I mean,
it's not weird.
Yeah, no, it isn't. This is weird. This is definitely weirder than Mina.
I like weird. All the best people are weird.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I do think I'm going to read it, Amelia, at some point, definitely. I think it looks like my kind of thing. Like, it's got the creepy mask on the cover and the black edges and stuff, so it looks like it should be.
We still need to buddy read Sour Candy, so...
Yeah, I still can't find it. I'm just going to have to buy it again, aren't I, at this point? Or
I've got a copy if you want it, Amy, but I don't have a copy.
Oh, I might borrow it actually and send it back.
So yeah, it's a good book and it's a really quick read, and yeah, it's got a kid in it, but it's not a bad. The kid is the problem.
Yeah, I think the kid being evil, that's fine. It's the bad things happening to the child that I don't appreciate. If the child's killing everyone, that's okay.
If the child is evil, we're fine with it. If something evil happens to the child, we're not fine with it.
Yeah,
I
love Keelan's writing. I just love it.
It's funny though.
Oh, it's so funny, but his books are dark. If you ever get a chance to read Kin, I don't know if you ever read Kin by him, which is like, it is so dire. It is horrific and beautifully written.
Mm-hmm. It's on my list. I do need to read it. Yes, I think I do need to dig through my shelves again and see if I can find it. It's just so thin and my shelves are so messy. I just can't see it anywhere. Oh, I'm going to have to try and find it. Okay, I will. Next time I go to the shelves, I will try and dig it out. I think we should go to a sprint so we can all be productive. I do need to do a little bit of admin work, so I swear if I'm on my phone, I'm not scrolling, I'm doing research. So I need to do that first, and then I'm going to do some writing.
I need a cup of tea, but apart from that, I haven't been very organised here.
It's too warm for tea.
I don't know. I'm never too warm for tea, I don't think. I can always drink tea when it's hot. So yeah, I'll probably do some, Sharon.
Juice constantly, and then tea.
As long as you stay hydrated, especially in this weather, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I'm going to go and I think that's the first thing I might do, actually, go and get a drink and then get on. So we will do a 40-minute sprint, have a chat, 40 minutes, then 30 minutes, and wrap up. So let's do the first one. We can catch up on the inside. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good sprint. How did you two get on? How about you, Sharon?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's really good. It's a great read. It's proper fun. And there's obviously a backstory, and it's all kind of like influencers and people who've been famous since they were children, and and they've all gone into this thing because something's happened, and they've got to make amends, kind of. But it's really fast. I'm about 30% through. So, but yeah, it's good fun.
That sounds really good. I'm going to add it to my list, definitely.
Nobody's died yet, but the build-up is good.
Yeah.
Nobody's died yet, but they will.
Yeah. Oh, they're definitely going to. I'm sure they are. What did you say it's called again?
And the slash tag. Slash tag.
Slasher.
It's actually slash. It's not slasher.
Yeah,
I got
that's
that
why
wrong.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
Oh.
slash tag. But yeah, it's very good. And the main character, the first one, who's like an influencer one, and she's advertised these drinks that have given everybody chronic diarrhea.
Oh dear.
So she's got into trouble for it. But there's a bit of a weird backstory there with her and a disabled sister. Something bad's happened in their past. So I expect she's being set up for the final girl. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's really good, really easy read.
Sounds good. I've just put it into my Google search, ready to look into it in the next sprint. How about you, Paula? What did you end up reading?
I ended up reading Lies Like Lamora. I'm still very much in the prologue, where Locke is still only a child. Well, he's always a child throughout, but I'm talking 5, 6, and the things that he's getting up to throughout that. Wyatt came in for a bit and gave me a little bit of a cuddle and a snuggle before he went off to bed.
That's it. That's nice.
At least he's gone to bed, Paula.
He's not. He's in the living room, climbing on Chris at the minute, but he'll get there eventually. Seeing as he was up at 1:30 this morning and he hasn't slept since, so fingers crossed for a full night's sleep from him tonight.
I'd quite like one of them myself.
It's really hard, isn't it? I don't have any advice with sleep at all, just because Nathan's has been really difficult throughout, and it just seems to start, like people said, between 3 and 4, if your kid's still not sleeping, it quite often does improve, and it does seem to be independently of me doing anything, but still it's probably from he wakes up at maybe between 10 and 11, and then he wakes up again at probably between 5 and 6, which is better than every hour or 2 or more.
Yeah, and like I said, I think when he gets to school and gets into that routine, I think Nathan's sleeping issues will be a thing of the past, touching wood.
But I don't have any kids. That's not my excuse. I'm just a chronic insomniac. I never manage more than 4 hours sleep a night. I haven't since I was a kid. No. And at the moment it's less than that. So I just can't.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because sleep is something that we all need, and it's so difficult. I've never found it easy. I tend to sleep well once I'm asleep, but I don't find it easy to get to sleep.
Me neither.
It's I don't know that I'll ever improve with that.
It's not a wonder I'm psychotic, really.
No, don't you find it so frustrating that your partner can fall asleep instantaneously? The moment their head hits the pillow, they're like, "See ya." And it's you can be dog tired, absolutely exhausted, but you lay down and your brain just goes through 80,000 things that it needs to do. And you're just and they're there snoring at you. And you're just I can't smother you with a pillow.
My husband's ex-military, was in the military for 23 years in the Marines. And he hits the pillow when he falls asleep. And honestly, not to encourage this, but the amount of nights I've laid there and thought, I could just put a pillow on his head, honestly, because he can go to sleep like that. And I can lie there and I just can't for hours. Yep. And it's so frustrating.
Men.
Generally, love, generally.
Yeah, fair.
I can't complain too much. Mine's very good.
Does he fall asleep instantaneously?
Yeah, he finds it easy to fall asleep, but he wakes up more than I do. Once I'm asleep, I'm out cold. But Kev would wake up, if there's a breath of wind in the room, it would wake him up type thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
It takes me ages to fall asleep, and then I can't stay asleep. The slightest noise, the cat's running around, anything, I'm awake.
Yeah. Which is lucky, really, because sometimes I need him to tell me that Nathan's awake and he's shouting at me, and I'm like,
no, it's your turn.
Oh no, it's always my turn. I'm the only one who's required at night time. But
Like, mummy, yeah.
yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? We love them to bits, no matter how difficult they are. Let's see what people in the comments are doing. What if they sleep any better than us? Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time, like that sprint, I ended up mainly doing like admin type things, and some of them I was just staring at the screen trying to think them through, because I'm trying to write the Mina 3 blurb, and I find blurbs harder to write than books. I've been on this one for weeks on and off, and it's just like how much to give away. And this one's so difficult because I don't want, if somebody picks it up in a shop, I don't want to give away what's happened in 2 other books, so it's really hard. And this one in particular has stuff that I want you to discover as you're reading it. I don't want to say who the cult are on the back of the book, because that's part of the joy of you trying to figure out, why is Mina getting mixed up in a cult?
It's like when I write reviews, I always put like a synopsis about the book, and I'm always very careful not to give any of the main plot points away. And it's actually quite difficult to do. So people who write the blurbs, it's actually hard to do it without giving the best bits away, isn't it, really? Because you want to pull people in, but you don't want to give them any you give too much away, do you? I get that.
Quite often what I like is something that is a reveal or is a twist or is something about the character you don't want to say. I mean, it depends on the publisher, I think, because I've written all of my own so far at UClan, but I didn't write the Scholastic one, so I don't really know what the normal thing is. I'm quite happy if somebody else wants to take it off my hands, like going forward from my other books.
Somebody else can do it. Somebody else's problem.
I also hate when people, you know how you get like people that like write something like on the book, do a little
blurb, yeah. Oh, I've lost. Yeah, that's it.
Don't know what's going on, Mike. But when they actually say something on the book and it's like the biggest twist ever, and then I start reading the book and I'm just like, I'm always waiting for that other shoe to drop now. It's really annoying.
I don't like being told that a book is twisty. I really don't. I mean, I don't mind twisty. I think. Oh, sorry, I don't know. I've just knocked something off Kev. I was just trying to. I think I've knocked off the thread. Kev was trying to draft something for me. I think I've got rid of it because I was trying to make the phone stop making noises. Yeah, twisted. I don't mind people saying my books are twisty because I think there's multiple twists. But I think if there is one twist,
one big one,
yeah, and that is it. It's hard to be told that because you are waiting for it, and I think sometimes a twist you need to read it and then you're like, oh man, I should have seen that coming, it all makes sense now. That's the best feeling.
Well, the worst is the disappointment, because you actually get to the twist and you're like, oh, was that it? Because you've built yourself up to it so much that you get to it and it's a bit of a disappointment. Do you know what I mean?
Or you go, oh, it didn't make sense, and like the book didn't foreshadow it at all and you feel cheated. I think twists are just really difficult all around. Let's see the comments. Sorry, they're jumping around a little bit on me. A mad tale. I like
a mad tale. I like a mad tale.
Oh, I think I might have missed something. Hang on. So yeah, I get that. I think if you're having to like binge watch something else, I haven't watched this on my turn pre because I found the books really sad, and I don't think that's too much of a spoiler because you kind of early on there's that whole some things like
Mad Vampire.
Melancholy as you read them. Mad Vampire does sound like my jam, definitely. ASMR. I haven't really.
Small Creek. Have you seen this on TikTok?
No.
So it's basically this skeleton puppet that is stirring a cauldron and doing all these strange noises like ASMR. And Meals, she sent it to me. She linked me to it. I'm completely addicted now. Every time in the background, it's like white noise. But it's this like weird little skeleton puppet.
I'm going to have to look it up, but I don't really get ASMR.
I find it sets me on edge a little bit, quite a lot of it. Like, I get this, like, visceral reaction that, like, runs through my body. It's really weird.
It's like, quite sweet.
It's
like,
have you ever tried brown noise?
Yes.
That sounds disgusting.
It does sound disgusting, but it's really relaxing.
Okay.
Honestly.
It's better than white noise.
It is. It's a lot more soothing. It's kind of, it's a lower register.
Okay. I'll look that up.
Is Raymond coming in with
I mean-
proof that men can sleep anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Raymond backs out of the chat quickly, like, sorry.
I'm sorry because we're jealous.
I'm going to have to look up the City of Nightmares now, aren't I? It's
Me
Like-
too.
yes, yeah, it's really annoying to be
Yes.
told. Although saying that, Naomi Gibson's latest book, I think the main character tells you, she doesn't say I'm an unreliable narrator, but the first line is something like that she's questioning her reality and she's questioning what she can believe about herself. But because the book's about virtual reality, I think that worked really well as a device. I think it just depends. But yeah, I don't like being told a book has an unreliable narrator either. Agreed.
Mm.
Hi.
Hi.
Like Ashlyn just gets straight in the conversation. Yes, agreed. I need to look it up. You're not comment. Might be a slight typo. I'm gonna put City of Nightmares on my list of books that I need to look at.
Is that one of the fairy loop things, Amelia? There's just quite a lot of fairy loop things that look interesting. I wonder if it's one of them.
Yeah, I stopped subscribing to
Gotham meets Strange the Dreamer.
Oh,
Oh, that's
instantaneously.
right up your alley,
Yeah,
Amy.
instantaneously for
Yeah.
It's like, hello?
We both
but,
love Laini Taylor, don't we?
yeah, but the problem is that if you say something's as good as Laini Taylor, I'm gonna like hold it to that standard. So that's gonna be difficult to me. But
Thing
Laini
is, it's
Taylor,
not as good as Strange the Dreamer, but definitely has those vibes.
yeah,
I'm
Laini Taylor's
very
on
tempted by the new special editions that have just come out on Illuma Crate. They are
It's
beautiful.
young adult fantasy as well.
Yeah, I did go through a phase of buying every Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Strange the Dreamer special edition that came out, and I think I've got multiple Daughter of Smoke and Bone ones, and then a couple of Strange the Dreamer, and it's got to the point where like one comes out every year or two, and I'm like, I can't actually. Came out were like £50 some, and I
haven't got a physical copy. Mine's on my Kindle.
On Good, sorry, I just need to interject. On Goodreads, if you're in the US, there's a giveaway for City of Nightmares.
Oh, that's good.
There's only 5 copies, so go on to Goodreads if you're in the US and you want to enter a giveaway. You might as well, because we in the UK don't get the giveaways from Goodreads.
We
We
don't.
I tried really hard to set one up for the Mina books when they first came out, and I was like really disappointed to find that UK people can't set them up and can't use them either.
No.
Oh yeah, it did go in the come from the Fairy Loot box. Ooh, yes, from a book box. Yeah, that's the one I've just found. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think that Naomi's really thought about it, and it's clever that if people say it in a review, it's not going to ruin it, because that's kind of what the whole point of the book is.
Thought it was a fairy. She's had some really good ones in the Fairy Loot this year. I'll get a Illuma Crate, and I've been terribly disappointed.
Yeah, I looked at the Owl Crate one, but because I'm in the UK, it was really expensive to ship it over, and I just, because I've got so many copies of them now, I have kind of stopped. Every time I look, I'm like, I want it, but
I don't have any physical copies of it. It's on my Kindle.
Oh,
so I'm tempted by the Illuma Crate ones because they're so pretty. Just to put on the shelf, really. I don't think I'll ever read them. And then I think, do I really need them then?
I was going to message you, Sharon, because I know you've got, was it Illuma Crate? There's Sun and the Void.
Oh God, I DNF'd it after.
I know you DNF'd it, so I was like, I wonder if I message her and say do you want to send it to me? And
oh God, you can have it.
Oh, crack on.
Yeah, you can because it's like I'll go on, if there's something I want, I go on, go Vinted, and I get really annoyed at people who try and charge massive amounts, because if I would only ever charge what it cost me.
Yeah, that's same.
It really annoys me that they try and rip people off. It just really annoys me. But yeah, you're welcome to it. I went in about 100 pages, and it just wasn't for me, because it's first in a 3-part trilogy, and the world building is. I just got really bored. But you might love it. I mean, everybody. I mean, like Jen's. We were reading it together, me and Jen. Peace and Cookies, who comes on here, and she's loved it. Absolutely loved it. But I got 100 pages in, and I just was dreading picking it up. And you feel I just no. So you're welcome. If you want it, darling, I will sort that out.
Oh, book people are nice people, aren't they?
Yeah.
By and large.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raymond, I'm the same. You want the pretty edition to put on your shelf. And this is a problem. I think I've already got 2 shelves with the Flaney Taylor books. I probably don't need a 3rd shelf. It's getting a bit far. As much as I
We're
want them.
basically serial killers, aren't we? We're book serial killers, and we like to have trophies.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
We're surrounded by tattooed dead trees, so
I know.
we're a little bit sinister.
You're not alone there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this printed.
no, I mean, I'll just send it to you, Paul. I don't want anything for it, but because
I
I'd
would
rather
happily pay for it.
It's a beautiful edition. It's absolutely stunning edition. It's gorgeous.
I saw it when you unboxed it, and I was like, God, it's so pretty. And then I saw that you didn't like it, and I was like, I really need to message
it'll just be stuck on my shelves. I would never pull it out again.
Okay.
So yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You are
just
lovely.
read my name.
Right, let's go and do another sprint. I'm just pulling up the kitty because I've surrounded it with books now that I want to buy. So I'm going to go and look at the books and then hopefully do some writing in this one.
It's lethal, these things, aren't they? My TBR's got more ridiculous.
So we will see you on the other side. Hello everyone. I was not ready then. Last time I looked up, there was like 2 minutes left, and then all of a sudden, the cat meows. So, how did we get on? How about you, Sharon? Are you still enjoying the book?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. So they started getting lost in this house. There's this hotel that's like a labyrinth now. It's just really fun. It reads like a slasher film. Do you know what I mean? So it's really good fun. It's really well written, really easy to read. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. But nothing gory. Well, nothing too gory. I mean, it's subjective when it comes to gore with me, isn't it?
Yeah, I take a pinch of salt when you say that, Sharon, honestly.
I don't think it's too gory. Yeah, I think it's creepy more than gory at the moment.
I like the sound of that. I think a problem I often have with adult horror is when it delves a lot of the time into grief and into like the psychology in a really deep way of like, looking at the human condition and stuff like that and what it means to be mortal, etc., etc. And I can only cope with so much of that before I start to just get,
Yeah, so
end up
this is like it's a serial killer who's father in the town, and so he obviously killed a lot of people in this building because he thought he could do medical experimentation, and then he disappeared and he came back as a cult leader later on, and then had a cult within this hotel.
That's cool.
So that's this kind of that hasn't got to that part yet, but it's kind of an interesting. It's kind of throwing everything into it. It's kind of we'll take a bit of cult and we'll take a bit of slasher and we'll throw it in and see what happens. So it's kind of fun. It's fun.
I like that. That's exactly what honestly I was just saying to Kev the other day. I need to read more fun adult books because when I enjoy an adult book, I really enjoy them. But a lot of adult horror does seem to have this kind of melancholy dimension that I'm less keen on, if that makes sense.
I don't think this is. I mean, this is certainly adult horror. It's not YA, but there's certainly some kind of a dark humor to it. The dialogue between the contestants is really quite snappy and fun. But we'll see how it goes. No, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Excellent. I think I'm going to order it. I think you've read enough to convince me.
Yeah.
I've already got the tab ready to do it. So
it's cheap on Kindle. If you haven't got Kindle Unlimited, it's only a couple of quid on Kindle.
Oh, I'll probably get it on there.
You might be better to get that, and then you're not. I'm always worried if people buy something because I've recommended and they hate it.
You don't need to worry. It's difficult, isn't it? Recommending books. We're all kind of putting our feelings and opinions out there, aren't we? And we're not always going to agree. So don't worry. I won't be offended.
Reading is subjective to everyone, so yeah.
Exactly. That's why I've got really into anthologies because I like the found one. I don't know if either of you read that. It's like a found footage one. So all different takes on found footage, and I love that. There's some stories where I was like, oh, too much. Some the perfect amount for me. Others I totally didn't get them, and I think you can just you can find different authors that you like, and that's what I like. I think I've read more horror anthologies than any other type of them, just because I'm still dipping my toe in horror and figuring out what I like.
It's very popular in horror. Anthologies in horror are very popular. So, and I love a short story. So you just pick it up and put it down. It's perfect to have kind of, if you've got 5 minutes, just read a story and put it down.
I think anthologies are good for authors as well, because sometimes it's like, you can write completely out of your wheelhouse in your comfort zone, as it were. So it's like, you can do a lot more with anthologies because it's like, you're not pigeonholed into one specific thing.
I think
a lot of indie authors as well will do an anthology just to test stories, and quite a lot of them then will turn those stories that were popular into novels. So that happens quite a lot in indie horror, and it's a good way to test to see if a story sticks.
The Lurking in the Dark one, the like HorrorTube latest one. The story I wrote for that, there's one of the characters in it who's a really minor character, and I'm like, oh, I keep thinking
I want to spend more time with you.
He's gonna.
She's got the stories there, hasn't she?
He's going to be a main character in a book, I think. And I love that. Like you said, a short story. It's an adult thing. It's not what I'd normally write, and it just kind of obviously something's still scratching away at me. So it's good. And like in the one that we've put together, it's like Mia doesn't normally write YA, and she's written like a YA really creepy story. And Louis Stowell, who wrote the Loki books, is kind of known for being funny and writing contemporary. So she's taken that but done it in a YA like sort of a creepy, funny kind of thing. And it's really good, like that people can try different stuff or lean into what they do, like Dawn Kurtagich writing something entirely gross and unsettling, like she does.
Perfect.
So yeah, I think they're really fun. I definitely need to read more of them. Yeah, we need trophies. Our books are our trophies. That's what we were saying in the last sprint. Yeah.
True.
It's true.
Oh no, I haven't read that, but I've heard.
Neither have I. I've got it, but I haven't read it.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm so glad you liked that one. That was City of Nightmares, wasn't it? That's also a tab I've got open. I've started reading House of Leaves twice, and it's so long, and I think I'm going to really like it, but I just haven't. Have either of you managed to read it? Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, I do want to read it, but then I don't, just because of how it is. So,
it's really long, and the writing is quite dense at the beginning, and I think that I was enjoying it, but I was reading it when I was really busy. I don't know whether, I think I was teaching at the time, and I just couldn't give enough headspace to it, so maybe I needed the audiobook or something so I can power through.
I like the idea of it, the idea of a story with an underlying story.
Yeah.
I've just read a sci-fi horror that was that. There was a main story about this salvage crew, and in the footnotes was another story explaining the society. It was really well done and really interesting, but it does take a while to get into the rhythm of that, doesn't it?
Have you read the Bartimaeus trilogy by Jonathan Stroud? It came out. I loved the fact that
too.
I'm going to butcher it, my memory of it, but I feel like, did Bartimaeus, this Jin character, didn't he in the footnotes write commentary on the book? So you've got the author writing the book, and he's like, "Excuse me, it didn't happen that way. How rude! Let me tell you the actual story." Or he's like, "Yeah, that character's a complete idiot," and I thought that was really, really clever.
It's just a different way of reading, and House of Leaves is the ultimate in that. In the fact not only is it a different way of reading, but you have to move the book as you're reading it.
Yeah, maybe audio. That'll work.
Have either of you heard of S?
Yeah, I have that.
I have S as well. And it's the whole reason like my book club started. I started it with a friend Kate because we both saw it and we both bought it together and we're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And then it just sat on our shelves for like years. So we're like, fine, we'll get to it. We'll finally do it. But she ended up like moving away from where we normally live. So we did the whole online book club thing. And we read The Ship of Theseus itself, and the book that's that's in it before, you read the quotes in the margins and try and figure out all the mystery. The book itself is absolutely terrible. So we need to, it's like we want to go back to it and read the mystery and the back and forth between the two people who are getting out this book throughout the library and whatever else, and the mystery aspect of it. But because the book itself that we actually the whole mystery thing is based on, we both absolutely detested it.
It's a shame. J.J. Abrams, I think, comes up with brilliant ideas. Alias, I absolutely loved at the beginning. Lost, I loved at the beginning. And I don't like to trash other people's writing, but I felt like by the end they both lost their way, lost being the opposite word. And because of that, I think I even picked up the book because I always really like his stuff to begin with and then end up falling out of love with it by the end. So
I'm still infuriated about Lost. I'm still infuriated about it.
Yeah,
I gave up. I haven't watched the ending, the final God knows how many seasons. I know what happens. I've been told. I really didn't care because I got to the point where it's just like I'm bored.
It should have stopped after 5 seasons.
Well, he planned it as 2 seasons apparently, and I think that's where it went wrong. They just kept eking it out. I loved the reveals. The advert at the beginning was like, one of us is a killer, one of us is a cop, one of us is a whatever. And then it went and revealed who those people were. I thought that was genius, and it should have just ended after that. Tell us
again, a great idea, kind of
poorly executed,
very poorly ended. It started really good, but it's really, the ending infuriated me.
Game of Thrones also.
Yeah, there's a slight issue of not having a book to base that on, wasn't there?
And I'm sure, her descent into madness is brilliant in the book because it probably happens over a longer period. But in the series, it was so, spoiler alert, it was so sudden that it just felt like, what happened? She was fine 1 minute ago.
Yeah, it couldn't be as nuanced and kind of gradual, could it, as it needed to be? Yeah, I have that same problem as well, Raymond. That feels like panic when people talk about these amazing books, and I'm like, I've got that. I haven't read it. Okay, that's cool. So I wonder. Oh, so have you got it on hold or something at the library?
Yeah, me too, Raymond. I'm infuriated, love.
See, I'd stopped watching it. As again, slight spoiler. I think at this point it's probably fine. Spoiler lost. There was a time travel storyline, and as soon as it got there, I was just like, I'm out. I'm really sorry, but I'm out. I can't deal with this. This isn't what this series started as.
I gave up after the whole after they found the bunker or the thing. Once they got in there and the storyline of that whole thing, I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, kept carried on watching it, so I saw bits of it and kind of saw the ending, but I was very, very mad.
It's better now because you can binge. When Lost came out, you didn't have the ability to binge.
Yeah. No.
Now you can. You've got all episodes, and if you get 2 in and think, you can just get rid of it. Whereas you didn't know it was going to get better.
No, you dedicate years of your life, don't you, at that point? The Iron Fae Evenfall, Close Shadows Legacy. Has anybody read that series or part of it?
I've read the Iron Fae. I didn't read the novellas. Is that Julie Kagawa?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've read the series. I didn't read the novellas.
What did you think of the series?
I enjoyed the series. Yeah. I liked it a lot. But it was one of those where it's like there's quite a lot of books in the series, and then adding novellas on in between, and you've it's like 0.5 or 1.5. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm already on book 5. I'm not going back. Can't be bothered.
So worth reading them, but like with the Suki Stackhouse books, I read them all and then realised I should have been reading the short stories as I went along because some of them relate.
Annoying, I think.
Yeah,
annoying.
I didn't even know there were short stories to the Suki Stackhouse books.
Yeah, and they all say at the beginning of them, I wrote this one after whichever book. It's best read with that, and I was like, oh, I should have picked this up as I was reading the series of books.
Oh well.
Yeah, so if
it's another series I gave up on. True Blood.
I really like them, but and I like this TV show as well. But the short stories, I was sad that I didn't know about them when I was reading the books. Yeah, we used to sort of stream them sometimes when we were at uni because we didn't, we had a TV license, but we didn't have like any decent channels or anything. I remember the days of watching things buffer.
See, we used to get it on Channel 4, and I think as soon as Sky bought it, and it's like I was living on my own and I didn't have a job at the time, and it was just like I can't pay for Sky, and I'm just like, well, that's it. I'm not watching that show ever again.
I got Sky when it first came over, when it first started in England, because I'd long moved back from America and I was so used to paying for cable. It was the same kind of thing, so I just paid for it. And I've had Sky ever since. Every now and then they try and bung extra fees on. I'm like, no, I've been with you for decades. Stop it.
Yeah, we don't have it anymore just because of all the streaming services. We've stopped. But
I don't watch it, and I hardly watch television now. My husband does, but I don't. But
we have a TV solely for the iPlayer to have the iPlayer. That's about it. And we have Sky now.
Netflix. I do love Netflix. I love Disney.
Got Netflix, got Disney Plus, got Prime.
I love all of them. But I pay for them all through Sky.
Yeah.
So but my husband uses it, but no.
I haven't got time to watch TV.
No,
she says after she sat and binged. I'm binge watching The Rookie right now.
Oh yeah, I liked that.
Just Nathan Fillion. It's just funny.
Oh, hang on, no, that isn't the thing I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of something else. Sorry, ignore me.
It's okay.
I love Nathan Fillion.
I'm thinking of Rookie Blue. Yeah, I'm thinking of Rookie Blue. Forget that.
But I binged both seasons of The Bear in like a day and a half. I was just like, yeah, this is what I'm going to watch now. 2 seasons.
We're watching Justified because they've made a new Justified season that's coming in September, and I loved Justified, so we're rewatching that.
Never watched it.
I really liked it.
There's good horror on there.
Okay.
It's a really good study in like character and small town America. It's really interesting. It's like a procedural cop show, but with a very specific like lens. It's very good. The villains are really complex, and the heroes are kind of as complex and bad as the villain sometimes. Yeah, it's really good.
I don't know why people move to small town America. They seem dangerous, don't they?
Honestly,
all the serial killers go. And I mean, why would you live there? I don't understand it.
To be fair, same with Murder She Wrote with Mrs. It's like, move away from that cove. Everything.
Midsummer Murders.
Midsummer Murders, you'd move out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Crazy.
Right, let's go and do the last sprint. We're going to do 30 minutes. I've got so many things I want to do in this that I'm feeling slightly panicked. So let's go for now. Yes, I'll breathe. I've got to send an email, finish some editing, so I'm going to try and do that within 30 minutes and then go to bed. So I hope you two both have a nice last sprint. I've got a few comments to read, but I'll do that afterwards. So I hope everybody else enjoys your last 30 minutes, and we'll see you on the other side. Hello, and that was it. Last sprint. Paula's camera's off, so we'll give her a minute. She's possibly off doing something. Did you have a good sprint, Sharon? Oh no, Paula's there. Hello.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, starting to get really good now.
Oh, I bet you're going to carry on reading, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah, you're not sure what's real and what's not real now. It's getting really good. Yeah.
It's that haunted house thing, isn't it? That when it's done well is really satisfying because you're like, is this supernatural? Is this somebody? Is it a human killer? Is it that kind of thing?
And you've got this kind of meme going on in the background where they're emailing each other. So you think it's all fake, but some of it can't be. So it's like you're just not sure what's going on. It's really good.
Have you read any Catherine? Have you read any Catherine Foxfield?
Yeah, I love Catherine Foxfield.
Yeah, she does that really well. Have you read? Is it It's Behind You, the one where they're trapped in the cave? It's so good. That's like I love that kind of thing. Like,
yeah, me too. When you're not sure
to the TBR it goes.
Yeah, I do. Really good. All of her books are, though. To be fair, like I haven't read a bad one. They're really consistently good, and her short story is so creepy in the anthology.
Catherine with a K or a C?
Catherine with a K, and it's RYN at the end. Catherine Foxfield. She's published by Scholastic, and they're all like horror thrillers, so they've all really fast-paced, like 300-ish pages, quite short.
Because when we did the one in the book club,
yes,
yeah, I didn't read that one.
Called?
Good Girls Die First.
Good Girls Die First. I bought all of them after that.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah, so
I didn't read that one. I was a bit hermiting. I was like, physical and mental health was in the toilet, so I was just like, no, I'm not doing things.
It's hard to keep up track of it all anyway. I don't feel like I can do half of the kind of clubs and things that I want to support and readathons. I think sometimes you just got to look after what you need, haven't you, at that point?
Fair.
I've volunteered myself to help with setting up an indie horror author con as well.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I don't know, I've got talked into that, but anyway, there you go.
I wonder how you've got talked into it.
I have set up quite a few conventions and events and stuff, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
If you need a YA dimension to that, I think I'd classify as indie because I'm with a small independent publisher. So
it'll be in London. We've got a really nice venue in London.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
It's quite quirky. It's got a pub attached to it. So but it's only going to be like a little one to begin with, just to try it out really. It's under Railway Arches in southeast London.
Oh, that sounds great.
So so I'm doing all I'll be advertising it at some point on my channels,
cool.
And I'll be doing all the finance, I suspect, as well.
That's cool, but it's like getting down to London. It's a bit of a trek.
Yeah, for me too. I'm in Devon, so it's but it is it's on the outskirts of London, so there's good transport links, and the accommodation is cheaper.
Devon's a bit closer than where we are.
Yeah,
you're a bit further south.
My train connection's pretty good to London. It's about an hour and a half for me, which is kind of quicker. Like Nottingham, when I'm going to see my friend on Wednesday, it'll be like similar journey time to get to London just because of the changes and stuff.
It's about an hour and a half for me on the train. It's a long time on a car. It's a good 3.5, 4 hours in a car.
Yeah, same for me.
But train's about an hour and a half, 2 hours for me, straight through. Yeah.
That's if they're working.
I've got a few events coming up in London. I don't think that's been announced. I'm doing Yelk in London.
Yay! Going to Yelk. So
I'd love to come, but I can't afford it this year. We're just paying for a new bathroom. Which is more important. But I might get there next year because my husband would love to do the Comic Con.
Yeah, it was a present for my 40th. It's like I'll be turning 40 on the 17th of November, and obviously it's held like the 10th and 11th, is it?
Yeah, something like that. That's really nice time.
My husband wants to go to the Comic Con side, obviously.
So
we do it together, and he'd do that side, and then I'd come to the Yelk bar.
I'm not sure if it's back to summer the following year because it's normally July, but because of the building works and stuff, they pushed it on to November for this year. So I don't know what it'll be next year. I guess they'll probably see how it goes in November because it's 2 days instead of 3. So that has a bit of a knock on. Apparently, the Yalc side of it's like a short list of authors and stuff just because of there's only 2 days of it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't know, but yeah, I've managed to do the last 2 in person, and then the one before they did a virtual one during COVID. So I'm fingers crossed that I'm going to become an institution of Yalc and be able to go every year.
An institution.
I'll
You'll
just
probably
go,
get a plaque.
yeah, maybe I'll go as an attendee if they don't invite me, so it's fine. I've been to every single one since the first one, so I'm not going to stop at this point. Yay! Kirsty's got the right idea. It's so difficult. I can't tell you the answer to that. The only thing I tend to do with stuff like that is do publication order, just because I feel like it's something that I can latch onto, because there's so many different. I've tried to look into it, and people didn't stick to the same storylines. They don't follow a trajectory. I think the Disney ones all can exist within the same Buffyverse, which is the later ones, but yeah, the early ones, it's very hard.
I went on like what picture was on the front for what season.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's clearly Buffy season 1.
Yeah. I read them as they came out back in the day, literally as they released the new ones I bought them, so that is the order I'd probably read them in, just because it was what I read them at the time. Okay, so you might be, I guess 0.5 might be a good first one to read then, and then read the first one if you enjoy that. So, yeah, I know we use them quite a bit back in the day.
Me too.
Yeah, to be fair, we use our TV for our Netflix and Prime, but yeah, Netflix, Prime, and Disney.
I love Bones.
Dave Baronez and Emily Deschanel. I always want to call her Zoe, but that's her sister, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
those
really
comfort shows that you always go back to and watch, like rewatching Buffy, Charmed.
Yeah. See, Raymond knows.
You could just watch anyone, can't you? And not.
Timmy the Elephant is amazing.
He is
in most of the things that he does. So
he's in that. He's got this like kind of simmering anger beneath the surface all the time that is really compelling. And in the very first scene, he sits in a bar with this guy or a restaurant and says that he gave him 24 hours to get out of town and said he was going to shoot him, and he didn't get out of town. So what are you going to do about it?
Shoot him.
They have this really intense conversation that may, result in a shooting. And it's great just how the whole series jumps off from that point. But you know exactly who he is within 30 seconds of screen time. It's really
a man
good.
of his word.
Yes.
Oh,
that sounds interesting. I have not watched it.
I do like for that. It looks good.
Yeah, I mean, she's quite different with the lapis lazuli eyes, which I never really knew what that was when I was a teenager, and blonde hair. And
to be fair, they changed it from the books quite a bit.
Yeah, the whole thing.
It is either Hallmark or death, isn't it?
That would be genius. Can somebody do that, please? Should I do that? I'm going to do it.
Yes. So she goes to a little town. She goes back to her hometown where she falls in love with a high school sweetheart, but he's really a serial killer.
Don't even joke, Sharon, because literally almost what you said is on my list of stuff I want to write.
And then it turns out that she's also a serial killer, and she has been in the city, and they team up.
Yeah, that's honestly the kind of thing that I want to write. If I go into adult books, that's it all over.
The way that they team up is like, they both end up deciding to go kill the same person, and then they're kind of like that buddy cop moment where they're like, what are you doing staking out here?
Yeah, what are you doing?
But they're actually the murderers. They're like, hang on a minute, I was going to stab this guy.
And it must be in the snow. It must be Christmas time. And that's how it should be. And there must be a log cabin involved. It's probably where they store the bodies.
Beautiful or terrible weather. There's nothing in between. Like Gilmore Girls is either sunny and bright all the time, isn't it? Or it's like perfect snow.
Another comfort show.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Yes, it's true.
Honestly, some of the towns in America do feel like you're in like the beginning of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like we joked, we'd just watch Wrong Turn one of the times we went to America, and like so many places are like that kind of abandoned feel, very creepy.
Is that the one with Eliza Dushku in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Desmond Harrington. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Catherine is a firm fave. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like you came on the other day, Laura, and we had the same conversation. I don't know whether we're on a different time scale. Yeah, we tend to run between 7:30 and about now-ish. And I do it every
time.
Yes, UK time. Every Thursday, and then some other nights. So you just have to watch my social media because I'm a bit random. Read. I don't know which thing Desmond
I think
reads.
you're talking about your
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my
yeah,
cozy
slasher
book
serial killer in a small town.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna steal it, Ashlyn, not gonna lie.
Kill me under the
I'm
mistletoe.
gonna save that. I'm gonna bookmark.
And the picture actually has to be a toe hanging from the mistletoe.
Oh my god, no! I actually
That's it. Book cover done.
This is how all these things start. Like Ashlyn, I don't know whether you two saw her. I panicked her into talking about what she was writing, and she came up with this amazing idea of writing a slasher version of Cinderella. And I was like,
Yeah,
well, now you have
do
to write it.
Yeah, it needs to happen.
It will. We'll do it, Ashlyn. We'll get around to it, won't we? We'll write all these amazing books in all our spare time between our children and, you know, other things we have to do.
At some point, your children will grow up, darling. You'll have all the day
they will
to be able to write. So it'll be fine.
Yeah,
and time.
You've got to make the most of these little years, haven't you? Because they don't stay like that forever.
They don't.
Right. I think that may be a good moment to end because I can feel myself starting to ramble. So let's finish there. I think the comments have sort of slowed down as well. So that's us. Yes, Slasherella, that was it.
That's the one.
Slasherella.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd read the hell out of that.
Yeah. We all would, Ashlyn. Get on it, please. So thank you. The next sprints I'll be doing are on Thursday at 7:30 UK time. I don't know if I've sorted anybody coming on there. There'll be people on screen with me. As you two know, I tend to arrange it like the day of or the day before. So it will be me.
Isn't the book club coming up? The live
the book club chat is coming up 1st of September, I think it is, to chat about You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I'm so excited to chat about this one. I accidentally finished it early because I couldn't stop reading.
I read it in a day.
Once. I don't want to say what it'll spoil it for people who
haven't. Good.
There's a three-letter word that when it appeared that's an animal, I was like, okay, I can't stop reading this now. I've got to know what this is about.
I'm on that discussion with you, aren't I? So I have many thoughts.
Yes.
I read it last month.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I have many thoughts about it. So
I can't wait. Honestly, it's so wild. Right. Night, Raymond. Night, everyone. I think we'll sign off there. So hopefully I'll catch you all soon in the next sprint. Bye.
Bye.